Hey everybody, it's Stacey with Bridges 527. I wanted to give a recap of F9, the Fast Saga. It's the latest of the Fast and Furious movies. I will say that when the series first came out, the previews of the first couple movies, I don't think I actually saw the movies because I think my impression was just that it was a bunch of kind of crass movies about loose women and fast cars, and I thought it wasn't going to be for me. And then maybe the series got deeper and it changed, or maybe I just had a different opinion because, so often previews are not fully accurate depictions of what you're expecting. But as I have seen some of these later ones, I get why they're so popular. And I think they are worth paying attention to because I think they are popular because they call out to something deep within the heart of humanity, but especially the hearts of men. And I think if we pay attention to these movies, it really gives us some insight into what men are really longing for, what people are longing for, because it's not just men. I mean, there's a whole community, what women long for and the men around them, and each other. Like, there's a whole thing there. And I just think they really hit on some core issues of human nature that's probably a little bit surprising to us because it's just a silly action movie on the surface. But there's a lot more to it. So I want to unpack a few of those things. I will just fully admit the silly action part, like this latest one is absurd. It's so completely absurd. Some of the stunts they pull, you're just like, that's not even remotely believable. And you just kind of have to roll with it and laugh with it. I think for my brother, that was a little bit of a turnoff. I just kind of laugh, but I'm more into it because of the like connections and the what it's saying about human nature. And this one actually had a lot to say. So on that front, this particular movie really focuses on family dynamics, and I would say the key issue is what happens when your hero falls from grace. So Dom and his brother reconnect. They are very much estranged, and largely that happened on the day that his dad died. And I think it's so interesting how two people can grow up in the same house, have a relationship with the exact same person, and be a part of the exact same event, but have a completely night and day different experience of that person in that event. And that's what happens here. And so Dom's perspective is very much, he's a kind of an idealist and a dreamer, and he sees the good in everybody. So his dad is on a pedestal. His dad can do no wrong. He's just this perfect man. He's absolutely his hero. His brother doesn't quite see things that way. His brother at the time was very aware of a few shady dealings that were going on, and his dad was being asked to throw a race and was financially up a creek. And his dad, who had always preached character and morals and all of these things, was doing something that was really against his teaching because he, like I said, had gotten into a compromising position, and that ended up costing him his life. And he was a part of it. So the thing that his dad asked him to do actually caused the car to blow up and caused his death. So this secret has been haunting his brother. Dom has been accusing him because he didn't understand the whole story. And all of these things have been going and building a rift between them, and so much hurt and misunderstanding for years. As they are forced in this movie to reconnect, they are going back to the past, and there's some truth that starts coming up. So now Dom has to face the fall of his hero. And that's it's a hard thing to face. And the tendency is to want to villainize his dad or totally make him a hero. And life's just not that simple. Like, most people aren't all one or the other. We're usually pretty much mixed bags. And we are complicated people. And we have good hearts, but we also struggle with the flesh at times and make bad decisions and ignorance and all kinds of things, right? So this movie really dives into that and how it affects their sibling relationship. And I love it because in the end, there's a lot of forgiveness and grace that happens. They both grow. They both deal with their past. So here are some of the themes that I think come up in the movie. Forgiveness, grace, family is always a huge deal. And you got to love how Dom, anybody that ever works with Dom, they become part of his family, like hardcore, you are his family, which I think is such an echo of things that we find in the Bible about the church. The family is not necessarily your blood, although he wants to restore the hearts of fathers to their children and children's to their fathers. Like, God is a God of family, and he created family, and he puts the lonely in family, and he wants to make a family for himself. Like, family is a huge theme in the Bible. But family is partly biological. It's also who you make it to be. And so the blood of Christ comes in and a spirit of adoption that anybody who wants to join his family, you become blood, even if you're not blood. So that really, there's such a similar kind of echo of that in the Fast movies, the way Dom operates and the way his friends become his family. They are like blood to him, and they are every bit, he is completely loyal to them. So again, I think that's partly why this echoes so deeply with us, is because we were made for that sense of family. That is a scriptural theme that has been written into the DNA of our souls. Also, you've got the brother relationship, you've got fatherhood. What is it to be a good father? And here he's in the trying to do things as well as his father did, thinking his dad was perfect, finds out his dad's not perfect. That affects how he thinks about his own fathering, right? All of these things are hidden in this movie, or, just underneath all the action. These are the things that are really driving the story. There's a thing about excellence all throughout, because everything they do is very precise and it's very excellent. All these stunts they pull off, the cars they drive, all the things, it's all got to be precise and excellent. And I love that. It really echoes so much of what you'll see in Proverbs and in the Bible about work and excellence and adventure and purpose. We love it because they're living for something bigger than themselves, and life is this huge, amazing adventure that just, there's an adrenaline rush in that. But again, I think it calls to our soul. Manhood, what is it to be a man? They have this one great quote in there about it's not being the stronger man, but being the bigger man. And I think that's a huge thing. And really these movies go, yes, they're all strong and they're big and amazing and athletic and all those things. But the bigger thing is, how can they be the bigger man? And every one of the things they go into, they're always trying to do it with excellence. Loyalty. There's also in this one, he starts out where he's not wanting to go back into the action. He's wanting to live safe because he wants to protect his son and his family. And Letty was the one who's like, are you kidding me? That's not who we are. If you want to stay home, that's fine. I'm going off to war. And I kind of love that. She's kind of the Deborah of the group, where she's like calling the men up into action, right? So she, he now has a family. It was one thing when he was living for himself. He could put his life on the line. If he died, it was no big deal. Or if people came after him in retaliation, it was just him. But now that he's got a family, he looks at things very different. And yet he realizes he cannot live out of fear or self-protection, which again is such a huge spiritual theme. There's like 350 some odd verses in the Bible, all saying, do not live, do not be afraid, in one way or another, right? Don't live in that state of fear, but trust the Lord. So all of these different things. The last thing I will say, one of the things that I love about the Bible, and it's really what you see in this movie too, is that the Bible is honest about how complicated people are. And it does not put people on a pedestal. It does not gloss over their mistakes. It shows the truth of who they are. And I've heard it said before, but most people, if they're writing a story to start a religion, they're not going to show you how messed up the people are. They're going to try to make them all look amazing. And the Bible is just really honest about the flaws and the strengths of the people in it. It just shows people truly. And I think that's where, again, this movie kind of hits on some great biblical themes, because it's takes down the veneer and the gloss of putting people on a pedestal and says, this is the truth of who we are, and we're good, bad, and ugly, right? So I encourage you, if you go see it, or if you're around people who really like the movie, it's just not hard to say, like, what are the themes about things in that movie that really called to you? Like, why do you like it? What is it about your heart that resonates with this story? Because this is a really popular franchise. Why do you think they've lasted so long? And I think if you ask, you'll get beyond the action questions and you'll get to some of these issues of theme. And then it's really not that hard to then go, okay, here's where the Bible kind of points to some of these things. So hopefully that helps you as you're thinking through some of these movies. And like I said, hopefully my hope is always that it transforms your entertainment night into something more deep and spiritual, and makes those connections so that you begin to see the Lord as part of everything that you do. So have a great day.